Hi, it's Dale Beaumont here, and welcome to Get Published TV. This is the only dedicated show on the internet to help authors and aspiring authors to write, publish, and market their own best-selling book in 8 minutes a day. First of all, I want to welcome you if this is the first ever video you're watching on Get Published TV. If you're here for the first time, please subscribe. That will make sure that you get sent a notification whenever there's a new video that we put up here. As you'll soon discover, we share lots of really valuable information, so you never want to miss an episode. You can also connect with us via Facebook, via Twitter, an RSS feed, or also through iTunes as well. Bottom line, we've got a lot of information and content, and we want to share it with you in the best possible way, or in the way that best matches and suits your lifestyle. So please join us, and we look forward to continuing to serve you both now and into the future. Okay, enough said. Let's talk about today's topic, which is a rather kind of touchy topic, if I can say, put a label on it like that, because we're going to be talking about how to avoid getting burnt by the media. Now, I'm going to share with you a bit about a personal story that happened to me, and I'm going to give you some examples about how to actually deal with it, because the media can be really like a double-edged sword. They can really make someone's career, and they can provide profile and credibility and branding beyond someone's wildest expectations. But just as quickly as they can give it to someone, they can literally take it away and have that person's whole business or life come crashing down. And I've seen many lives and careers ruined as a result of bad publicity. So I don't really subscribe to the thought to say, any publicity is good publicity. Certainly, that's true to a certain extent. It doesn't have to be great publicity, but bad publicity, and lots of it, is very, very damaging. So, make sure that you pay attention to what we're going to talk about right now. Let me go back a few years to when I was 19 years of age, and we were inspired to write this first book called The World at Your Feet. Now, before we'd actually written the book, it was myself and my best friend Brent Williams. We were passionate about working with teenagers. We had had some interesting experiences in our teenage years, which I'll probably talk about on a future episode. And we got really passionate about helping teenagers, and we wanted to start running programs to help with things like goal setting, leadership, communication skills, money management, career skills, all things that we realized were very important, that we felt that the education system was kind of lacking, and so we wanted to fill in the gaps in teenagers' education. So we just started running our programs. We were just 19 years of age. We were very, very naive, and we had an opportunity to get some media exposure. I can't remember how it exactly happened, because it was a while ago. I can't remember if they called us or we called them. But I remember that we were sitting in, not my house, but in Brent's house, and there was this journalist there from a major Australian newspaper, and they were asking questions. And they asked a whole lot of different questions, and we were very passionate. We told them about all our vision and the work that we wanted to do, and how we saw it coming together, and the length of the programs, etc., etc. And then at the end, there was a question that was asked, which was, okay, so how much are you guys going to charge for your programs? And we're like, well, there's lots of things that we need to do and cover, so we'll probably charge, $300 or $400 or something like that for our seminars and programs. And to us, that didn't seem like a lot of money, because we'd had invested prior to that thousands, tens of thousands of dollars in our own education. So by charging a few $100s, we didn't see that as being a lot of money, and we didn't think it was an issue. We basically said goodbye to this journalist, and we waited patiently for about a week or 2 weeks, and we get this article that, or actually the newspaper arrives, and there's this article there, and it went something, I've tried to erase this from my memory, but it went something along the lines of, here is the latest craze. 2 young guys are now taking advantage of parents and teenagers willing to pay anything for their success. Now they're claiming that they have the secrets to help young people lead a better and more fulfilling life, and they're charging hundreds of dollars in order to share their wisdom, and they've only been studying this stuff for 6 months. And basically they said that we were just just in it for the money, that we had no real credibility, and we didn't have the authority to be running these programs, and effectively we were ripping people off. That was like a knife through our heart, because we put so much work and effort into putting together this program for nearly 12 months. We've been studying and researching and practicing, and all of a sudden this person who knew nothing about who we were and what was kind of behind it just was literally rubbishing the work that we were doing. So that was a massive wake-up call for us. And through that experience, we learned a very valuable lesson. And that is that you really need to be prepared when dealing with the media. So what I want to talk to you now about is making sure that you actually, prior to going into an interview, sit down for maybe a couple of hours, maybe a half a day, and think about all the possible questions that they could potentially ask you. And not just think about all the positive ones and all the things that are going to be warm and fuzzy and fluffy, but think about all the hard, pressing questions, the things that they're going to ask you that are maybe going to cause your chin to quiver or your hands to shake. What are all the the stuff that you really don't want an answer? And that's what we did. We actually learned from that experience. We said, okay, we're never going to let this happen again. So we actually sat down and we wrote out, I think there was about 30 questions. And we broke them up into 3 categories, I remember. The first category was easy questions, things like, so what inspired you guys to start running these programs, and tell us about the young people that you work with. And that's really easy. We love talking about that stuff. Then we had the questions in the middle, which were a little bit more difficult to answer, or were slightly putting some pressure on our credibility, and we had to were forced to give some really good answers, like, what's your opinion on underage drinking, and what do you think of bullying, and how's that affecting young people today? So there were questions that we were happy to answer, but we needed to do some preparation to feel comfortable in answering them. And the third series of questions were tough questions, things like, so you guys are 19, what makes you think you know anything about empowering or helping young people? Are you guys just in it for the money and you really don't care about these teenagers? What experience do you guys have? What's your educational background, or do you have a university degree? And we listed out all of these tough questions, and we sat down for a few hours, myself and Brent, after we planned all these questions out, and we just role played. And I would sit down and I'd ask the questions to Brent, and he'd answer them, and after he answered them, we'd discuss them, what worked well, what didn't go well, how could he have done it differently, and then we reversed it, and he did the same for me. And after a couple of hours, we felt really strong, really secure. We felt kind of in a way like bulletproof. We were like, after this experience, you can throw anything at me and I'll be more than happy to answer it. So that was a real turning point for us. We've only ever had one piece of negative publicity. Since then, we've had hundreds of really positive press releases and articles and interviews, etc. But that was a real kind of wake-up call for us to know that you can't always trust the media and expect that they're going to put you forward in the best possible light. You kind of need to expect the best and always expect for the best. Don't go into media interviews thinking that they're going to try and rip you off, or you can't be guarded and hold back information. You've got to expect the best and give the best, but also you've got to plan and prepare for the worst. So just have those hard, difficult, tough questions tucked away. Know what your answers are in advance, so that way when anyone puts something on you, you never have to feel uncomfortable. You basically say to yourself, bring it on. I'm happy and comfortable to talk about anything that you want to throw at me. And here's the whole magic of this particular idea and concept. I remember I did some studies in a couple of courses in a local community centre for understanding the media after this whole experience happened. And I remember that the lady said, who was running the course, remember that a kite rises in a strong wind. So if you've got a strong wind, then the kite actually rises. Now what I took from that is that if you have a nice interview, if it's positive and if it's really kind of really nice, then you look okay. You look good. Okay, it worked well. But if someone asks you some really tough question and you answer them beautifully and you come up with really good solid answers, then isn't it not true that your opinion of that person actually increases, that you actually say, wow, this person is amazing? So by coming up with those obstacles or challenges or that kind of that adversity, it's able to actually bring you to a whole other level and make you look really credible and someone that is in a position to really handle themselves well, and then they know that they can put you in any position and you're going to really thrive. So hopefully you've learned a bit from that experience, and there's some tips that I share with you along the way as well. So trust that you found value. It was a big learning experience for us, and I wanted to share it with you as well so it helps you with your book publishing career. This is Dale Beaumont from Get Published TV. Thanks for watching. See you again next time.